Kayla Patterson, Midwest Muscle, Pickett and Kimmy. I mean, this girl is just awesome. She's got her own gym up here, MBS Fitness, and just loving it. She was nice enough to welcome us in here. Back with Brian. And you need to be introduced as well, please.
My name is Waishali.
And that's not a joke. That's her real name. Say it again.
Waishali.
Okay, I'm loving it. It sounds like a radio host name. I'm just loving it. And having a good time here at the gym. These home gyms really take good care of the people that come in through the door. They take care of the people that come in and just make you feel at home. I mean, that's the best way to say it. Absolutely. And we're talking about the Illinois State coming up and all these other shows that are coming up. And when gyms like this are willing to welcome you in and, show you the people that are trying to compete and, they're asking questions to you, you can actually give open and honest without having to step on toes about having heard a franchise about a personal trainer or anything, because you're speaking from the heart.
Absolutely. And I think this is the direction that the sport's going, as opposed to normally your corporate gyms out there, where now it's getting into more your smaller boutiques, more intimate, more of prep coaching.
Yes.
And that's, a lot I prep all my clients too. We've got about 13 on our team for Team Body Sculpt, but that's more of like where it's going. So you find passionate people.
You say the name, but you quit. You got to show them what you're talking about.
Baby. Team Body Sculpt, baby. Team Body Sculpt.
Male version. Female
Female
version.
Yes.
And, I'm like, what do they call it? The burnout? Or how do we?
The burnout.
Yes.
The burnout, yep.
Oh, the burnout takes.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good, yeah.
Yes.
So, you gave it to the women, and you also gave it to a feminine look, where it actually looks good on a female's body, and they can still exercise in it, which is a plus, because some of the stuff that they make isn't really designed to be worked out, and it's just to be worn to look hot.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Unless you can spring up for some American Apparel.
Yeah, how about it? Yeah. Whew. My goodness, and with the diet and food and prep and everything else, that's not an easy thing.
No.
But anyway.
Yes. It's very welcoming to be able to come in here, especially Kimmy, and in her place that's supporting every type of athlete out there. And the more we can get out there and unite and make people aware, that there are more passionate people out here to support what they're doing.
Yes.
I know that's going to be the main bloodline into building natural bodybuilding.
Yeah. And we need that. Off camera we were talking, and I was saying, when you have obesity, it's considered a disease. That's not the way we want to be going in this great country we call America, where this is acceptable behavior. I'm just amazed that can even be a classification where people can overeat themselves in unhealthiness, and it's said, well, that's okay because you got a disease.
Or on the flip side, starve themselves.
Yeah.
To try to get the result.
Exactly, because there is a body dynamic that functions properly, and getting around personal trainers, getting around people that understand the body dynamic, because you have doctors that get you back to health, but once you get back to health, what then?
Right.
Do you want to keep falling into that habit of unhealth where, okay, I'll do something because I'm scared to death, and then when that feeling wears off, I'll just go back to my old habits. And, personal trainers step in and say, there's a better way. And, when you cover that aspect, now, let's just step out of the promoter's role and cover the show role. As a personal trainer, how good is that to watch people improve health-wise, mentally and physically?
It's more rewarding than a paycheck. I mean, it's unfortunately, it costs money to have a trainer, or guidance, but there's so much bad information out there nowadays.
Oh my God.
People don't know where to go. And to watch people completely transform, get healthier, be better in their 40s and 50s than they ever were in their 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of you get the backlash where they say, man, if only. And it's like, no, right now.
You can be better now than you were then.
Yes.
Especially because of information nowadays, if you can find the right information.
Yes, because there's a lot, we talk about bro science on the page, and there's a lot of bad and misinformation where it's twisted just to get you under that personal trainer instead of, being, I want to get you to health, I want your money.
Right.
Like you said, a lot of us are here to get paid as personal trainers, but also I have a passion for your health.
Yes.
Not your money. I said your wallet should never be the driving force for why in
Exactly.
your life. Yeah.
And outside of all the body transformations that we get, that we see, matter 1 week, 2 week, 10 week, 12 week, doesn't matter. When you get a text come across that says, I went and got my lungs checked again today, and this is one of my competitors on my team, last week went and got checked with asthma, and over the last 5 years, her lung capacity was in the 50 to 70% range. And she just got retested now after me working with her for a little over 6, 7 weeks, and her lung capacity is at 83%. And it's never been that high ever.
That's
So
what it's all about.
and on top of her body transformation, it's unbelievable.
So
you know?
that ties right into the body sculpt.
Yes, there you go. You know, we started the company a year ago when I left the place I was at, and me and my fiance were kicking around names, and I was trying to find, what is it that I do? I'm not a trainer. I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'll change your bone position. Like, I'm gonna sculpt you, and hence came the word body sculpt. So one day I got a text from my fiance, like, how about body sculpt fitness? I was like, boop, boop, done.
There we go. Yeah.
Over. LLC'd it, bought it, you know, own it.
Changing lives.
And it fits to a T. So now it's pretty much what I wanted to create, was saying, instead of me go out and try to get the public, I wanted to be able to fly a flag and say, come here.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been able to do. And that's why my team's grown. That's why I grew in the INBA so fast. Getting my pro card helped, but having a lot of competitors that.
The pro card just shows the dedication that you're willing to put into it. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, that it's supposed to be a moniker because you've worked for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a blessing, and it's been a strong 6-7 months, of just getting involved with all these things with the company and with the league, and couldn't be happier, with where we're at.
Now, when that passion translated to where you said, I'm not just changing lives here, but, to where it's going to be a show where you want to promote and you want to help natural bodybuilding and have natural athletes to step on stage. And there are people that basically wanted to take the next step, because there are people that say, this is enough. My good health is enough. I wanted to be around my family, my friends, and be able to enjoy that time with them, because, like you said, in their 20s and 30s, they had bad habits, and they couldn't. But then there's people that say, it's not enough. I want to look like you and feel like you did when you stepped on stage and had that magic happen where everything changed. And now you're saying, I don't want to just do that. I want to promote a show where I can give back and have people understand and experience what I felt. Exactly. What made that transition happen?
There's no better way to get shape than to have a due date.
Fair enough.
When you have a date to get ready for, it gives you something to shoot for, because otherwise you're just working out.
So it's like the wedding, getting ready for the wedding,
you're
getting
just
ready
working
for
out.
summer.
So with my clients, I have regular clients and I have competitors. Regular clients, sure, they're on their nutrition plan. It's not anything like what my competitors go through. It's about what they need to be healthy and holistic and to get their body to work properly. Competitors get a lot of tweaks from here and there as the weeks go on.
You don't do the cookie cutter.
There's no cookie cutter. You can ask my competitor. There's blood, sweat, and tears.
All right. Because I know there's a lot of people that have been selling that, where it's like, oh, just don't tell anybody else what I did for you. And that's the reason they can't tell you, because it's the same thing that you did for Joe, Joe, and Lowe.
Right. Where mine, I'll outright tell you, because everybody's different. So.
And this is what we're talking about when we're saying the information is there if you're around the right people.
Yes. And even myself, we're looking into supplement use. I mean, I use BCAAs, EAAs, paleo greens, which is pretty much vegetables. Beta alanine, very just a couple things here and there, and everything else is training and food.
Yes.
And just getting, everything to work properly. But what led me into, being interested into promoting was, having competitors go to shows. I've been to shows where they're not run well. I've been to shows that you don't get time on stage. I've been where it's like I put all this effort in and they got nothing from it. I've had competitors go to shows that were like that. So me getting involved is like, hey, cool, let's change the game.
Yeah.
Let's make this fun. Let's make it, exciting. No one wants to be falling asleep in the crowd. Like, these shows are boring.
Yeah.
Like, you got to bring the spice of life, and that's what I look at doing. So getting other people to that due date really is what did it for me, and to say, I want your experience to be fun, because it should be contagious.
Yes.
You shouldn't walk away from a show going, good God, I'm never doing that again, which is what I
Exactly.
hear from a lot of people.
I don't know what I was
Yeah,
thinking,
they
you
were
know?
miserable through the prep. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then you ruin it.
This is your
You
day to
beat 'em up.
shine. Like, you're here for, this is for you, all the work you did.
Yeah,
And that's where I got hooked into it.
I'm loving it. And now there's criteria for each different organization. Where does someone go to get the criteria right for the different classes, different categories?
The hub, central hub to go to will be naturalbodybuilding.com. They're going to have all of the barriers between the classes. Your female classes are the ones that have the most classes, which requires more barriers.
Yes.
And what I'm looking to bring consistency to with the judging panel at the Illinois State is the top in bikini should look like a top in bikini, not something that should look first in figure. So
I
between
agree. Yes.
your bikinis, your figure, your physiques, bodybuilding, all your fitness models, there's so many categories for women. Let's get this consistent.
Where it makes sense.
Yes.
If it's a different class, it should be a different
It should
class.
be a different chance.
So
So
different category should be a different category.
sure, which means you can try to enter any class you like, but if you don't place well,
Don't be mad.
don't be mad.
If you win here, it almost stands to reason that you won't win over here.
And there's no reason why there should be a crossover from figure to bikini. Like there's no, it's two separate looks.
Yes,
So,
very.
you know, so we look at getting that all cinched up. You know, we want to be consistent across the panel, do everything I can to make that happen. And I think it's going to be pretty consistent with what, you know, the ABA goes through. But I think it more comes down to the promoter and the actual judges saying, what are you going to allow to place and what are you not going to allow? And that's, I'm going to do everything I can to be a strong input into that conversation. And don't place it out of politics or reputation.
Exactly.
It's what are we looking for and who brought it.
And I'm going to save you right now because everybody runs to the promoter and says, the judges screwed me over. It's not like you're dictating, like you said, there is no politics where you're saying this person's supposed to win. So the promoter is not the judge and not the head judge. He's the promoter.
Thank you.
I think Joe Perez said that so good. He's going to get a shirt that says, I'm just
the promoter. But I'm there as an athlete to know what irritates us. And we're not going to let that happen.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time you've given me. I'm sure the Midwest is loving the fact that you stepped up and gave us a show in this region because, you know, we have been lacking. Let's be honest. There's great shows around this area, but in Chicago, what? So it's nice to know we can stay home and still be able to bring family and friends because, you know, support is so big in natural bodybuilding.
Yes.
And it's so lacking sometimes when we have to go, and, you know, we do travel. I mean, let's be honest, we do travel. And sometimes that many families, and God bless the families that can travel, but there is that competitor that only has 2, maybe 3, if that. And then they be able to be at home, and they've got hundreds. So, you know, it fills the seats, which is good. And then it brings out the voices because there can be so much electricity in a crowd that has good competition. People are just stoked to see it.
Yes.
Because they're not used to it. I'll never forget at being in the cow, and the lady that would just stick her head in, and she said, you know, I'm calling my husband right now, and we're getting memberships to FitWorks because I never knew this many people were healthy.
There you go.
And that kind of just,
There's the contagiousness.
yeah. So even though I was on the outside of the venue, I'm still watching the magic happen. And I was like, well, this is what it's all
That's
about.
what it's supposed to accomplish.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so Body Sculpt is bringing people up, and now you've got the Illinois State bringing people up, and hopefully, you know, it brings them to where they need to be healthy, not competitive, like you said, because you cover both ends. I'm covering the person that wants to be healthy, and I'm also covering the person who wants to compete. Yeah,
Sure.
so
Absolutely.
that's great.
And, you know, my fiance gets to sit in with every week's posing practice to see the difference
Yes.
of what it takes for all these people to put in the work, you know, and it's like, it's not just so much about, oh, wow, okay, yes, she looks okay. The works that went into 12, 16 weeks, you know, training and food and constant posing, it's a shame to watch shows not go down how they should,
Yeah.
you know,
That's so
and now that I've piggied off of Kimmy here, now that we've connected and we're able to continue the legacy, you know, that's what we look to have, you know, and that I'm glad she had already put all the effort in to already build it. So if we can keep the sticks underneath it and say, hey, we'll keep this thing rolling, you know, that's the best that we can do.
Yes. Now, I would be remorse not to ask you something because, like I said, natural bodybuilding has a support system and a fit family and a foundation, but the people closest to the people that are doing the work usually suffer most of the burden along with them. So now is your time to say, you know, all that he has to go through to do what he's doing. How does that make you feel when you hear the naysayers and the people that don't want it to be a success and the people that are basically getting in the way of progress?
It's sad and it's frustrating. Me being on the outside and his fiance, I obviously support 100% of what he does, and I'm very proud of where he's come in the last year and, you know, this show that he's promoting. There's a lot of time that gets taken away from our relationship, but I see in his clients and I see in his competitors the drive, the mental capacity, the physical capacity, and I see how excited he gets when he sees those changes and he gets those text messages of like the asthma example, or when another client comes and says, I lost, 4 pounds and I'm deadlifting 185 now, and I'm just like, these women are amazing. They are, for me, I've never done a competition, but it's so motivating for me. I go into the gym and I see them and I'm like, these girls are beasts. It's amazing.
Yes.
So I'm really proud of him. I want him to be successful. I want the INBA and PNBA shows to be successful. I want his clients and any other competitor that's coming to the shows to be successful.
And you get to see the passion firsthand, so you get to see the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
I know it's taxing, and I know sometimes it feels like you're on an island. When you have to dig deep, don't you realize?
I go to the gym.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's why we learn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's right. That's what I'm getting at, because there's got to be an outlet, and when we say fitness family, people have knocked it and they feel like, we're excluding people. No, we're including everybody. If you want to be a part of fitness, step up.
Absolutely.
But don't take away from the drive we have, because we are driven. I mean, my buddy, he's got beyond driven clothing, and I'm just loving it because he said it's not enough to have drive. I got to be beyond that, because if I'm bringing people up, then I got to be stronger than the person I'm lifting.
Exactly.
Which makes sense. In body sculpting, you figure if you're sculpting a body, you got to know ahead of time, and you got to basically see what's under that mountain of a person, to see the burdens and take those burdens off and sculpt that body to what it should have been 10, 20 years ago, like we talk about.
Right.
Yes.
Fitness is truly a way of life, but it's a way to life and a way of living. And I think that's when you have that nice support system, like what you're doing, it's a lot easier to be done. And you don't get the pat on the back, but you do now.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, because he doesn't happen unless you're there to make sure he can happen on the days when he doesn't want to happen.
Right.
Because we all have those days. Kimmy taught me long ago, there's days when you don't want to go, but you're responsible for the person you said you were going to be there for, so you get there, because they're going to be there anyway.
Yep.
It changes everything.
Yeah.
From the heart, Midwest Muscle, Brian. I must let you say this name, because it just...
Weishali.
Weishali. I want to give her a stage name. I want to give her a name. Midwest Muscle, we are out.